What is up, guys? It's Jimbo here, and welcome to a Your List is Better Than Mine tier list type thing, where it's basically a tier list of ranking all of the Warlock exotic class item combinations that we have in the game. I'm going to go through all of them. There's 64 to go through. I've taken the time to put them all into little things into this tier list. And before we get started, please leave your thoughts in the description, or in the comment section, I should say, of what your list would be, what you would put in top tier if you disagree with me. But keep it civil. At the end of the day, this is just my opinion from all the information that we have in the game. Now, we do have quite a lot to go through. And these are the tiers. We have pretty bad, which means both of the perks that you get on it are just kind of terrible for the class itself. We have one good, one bad. We have average. We also have great when built into, pretty strong, and top tier. I'm kind of messing around with the rankings a little bit, but those 5 is where I'm pretty going to sit. So let's jump into the first one, which is Apotheosis Veil and Syntheseps. Personally, I think this goes into the average / great when built into. Obviously, Syntheseps buffs our melee damage, and also Apotheosis Veil. When you get your super back, you're going to be able to then spam out grenades and also melee after the super has finished, which is it's good. The downside to it is that you have to wait on your super, so that's why it would probably get knocked down into average. The build is going to be good if you do a lightning surge setup with arcane needle with Syntheseps to do more damage, but I just think it's kind of average. You're kind of losing out on an extra perk that you could be using by using Apotheosis Veil, so that's why it sits there. Likewise, the same kind of goes with Apotheosis Veil for the Claw. It's kind of average, but I would probably put it in one good, one bad. The Claw only gives you one extra additional melee. Now, for Lightning Surge setups, that's fantastic. For everything else, apart from Arcane Needle, 2 Chain Lightning is okay. 2 Finger Snaps is okay. 2 Pocket Singularity, it's they're okay. Maybe you can make an argument for double freezes. And then once again, you're waiting for your super to come back as well. Now, this is a bit different with Verities and Apotheosis Veil. Also going into average. A lot of these are probably going to go into average, apart from maybe 2 of the setups that will be great when built into. Apotheosis Veil, once again, with grenades. This is going to be great because if you can, during the Song of Flame super, if you can then get a couple of kills to build up your Verity's Brow, the perk on it, and then you can do some extra grenade damage after the super has finished as well. But once again, it's being leaned on. Apotheosis Veil kind of really nerfs this as well. I'm going to also put probably Apotheosis Veil and Swarmers in the pretty bad to kind of one good, one bad. The only time it's actually going to be very good is when you are using your Song of Flame super. But I don't think I would recommend, once again, the Apotheosis Veil here. Now, the next 2, I'm going to be putting great when built into. If you are purely focusing your Apotheosis Veil and Star Eaters, it means that you can get more damage out from your Song of Flame, which is also why Apotheosis Veil and Harmony also fits into this. If you are purely just aiming to get your super back as quick as possible to take advantage of Star Eater, and also with Harmony, which these two kind of, if you have both of these roles, you can kind of hot swap them. That's kind of a little bit of a cheap way of giving a ranking. But these 2 will also be fantastic when they're built into. Lastly, we're also going to put Apotheosis Veil and Starfire in here. Problem is Starfire is a very, very bad exotic perk here because it needs to be empowered, and a lot of people aren't really using Rifts, which is a little bit unfortunate. So let's jump into Assassin's Cowl. Assassin's Cowl is going to be the only way that we are going to be able to get invisibility on the Warlock on Prismatic, unless there's some other way that I'm a little bit unfamiliar on. Now, this is a great synergy. I think Assassin's Cowl being able to go invisible, having more invisibilities from the Claw if you use Lightning Surge, I think that's going to be great when built into. Fantastic. But it could probably drop down to average depending on how you set it up. It's a bit of a fun one. I also missed an extra thing here. Once again, This is also going to be in poor as well. Apotheosis, Val, and Vesper. We have 2 claws, I think, here, so I don't know why that is, but still. Assassin's Cowl, and I think it is Star Eaters. It's pretty average. Probably one good, one bad. Assassin's Cowl, if you're kind of, once again, trying to go invisible, it's not really going to go very well in terms of pairing it for a super for Star Eater, so it kind of falls down a little bit more. Although, I will say that the Assassin's Cowl and Syntho goes together quite well on a Warlock specifically. That kind of works with the melee, so we can take advantage of that. Assassin's Cowl and Harmony, once again, average to one good, one bad. You kind of plan into your super. There's no real synergies there. If anything, I think Harmony is a little bit better. Assassin's Cowl and Starfire, once again, doesn't really have any synergy. I would say that, once again, one bad, one good, one bad for Verity and Assassin's Cowl. The invisibility is good, but the Warlock melees kind of suck. We're also going to put this one, Assassin's Cowl and Vesper there as well. And also, I'm going to put probably one good, one bad for Swarmers, just because Swarmers is actually quite good. Anything melee focused that isn't increasing the damage of the melee is also not that great. Now, I'm unfamiliar with the perk, but I believe on second filaments, you get Empowering Rifts grants the user Devour for 11 seconds, which can be refreshed for 11 seconds. The problem is, you are using an exotic perk to get more Devour. Now, you could use that to use a different setup, like, for example, using Devour and Helion and Bleak Watcher, and not having to use Devour with an aspect, which is, like, quite good. So it's okay, but also, I think it just falls into the average / like pretty bad category personally, because Empowering Rift is awful in the game currently, because it's easier just to use the Cure from Phoenix Dive, which means, sadly, I'm going to be putting all of these into pretty bad. Actually, no. Second Filaments and Starfire is actually a lot better. So I'd say that's an average, purely because you're using an Empowering Rift and these synergize better. You could say Great Wind built into, but average is pretty good. Once again, Verity, Empowering Rift and Harmony. You're standing in a rift. It's not the best, especially with the amount of enemies that we have on screen. One good, one bad, for Filaments and Verity's Brow. Starfire, one good, one bad, but also I'd say pretty bad. It's not because Starfire's that great, but there's no synergy in there whatsoever. I would say average, maybe, with Filaments and Swarm, because you can get those threadling aspects across whenever you use it. But I do believe with the threadling one, it's only for when you're destroying tangles. So it actually kind of goes down to one good, one bad, if not all the way down to pretty bad, because you're not even getting the effect of popping your rift and then getting extra swarmers as well, which I think is what the original perk is. I may be wrong, but either way, pretty bad at least for me. I would say for average here, if I take which one am I looking for? Hold on. For some reason there we had a bit of a problem with the page, but still. Filaments and Vesper is in average, because I think that actually works a little bit better in terms of you're using your Empowering Rift. Vesper also works in tandem with a Rift as well, so they're quite good. You could build into it potentially, but I just don't think it's as good as any of the other combos. Quick drink. What else have we got? And that's all of the filament ones. Now we get into a selection that I would say is pretty good, and that is Inmost Light. Inmost Light on here is Grenade, Class Ability, or Powered Melee gives empowered abilities to others. So you get increased regeneration rate from all of them. So it already is a good perk. That's why the first selection here with Starfire and Inmost kind of goes into average. And I would also say that Synthos with this as well on Warlock kind of goes into average. Yes, you could use this to get more melees back on a Lightning Surge setup, but I do think it kind of sits into average. And as you can see right here, we kind of have nothing in the top tier at the moment, which isn't that great. Inmost and Battle Harmony, and I believe Battle Harmony's perk is matching weapon kill, gives you what you need. So for this, I would say probably great when built into. If not almost pretty strong, because you get ability spam the entire time thanks to Inmost, and then if you match your weapons to it, you're going to be able to get your super back quicker. So that's actually a kind of really solid combo. Even better though for me, which is probably going to be our first pretty strong of the video, is Verities and Inmost Light. Now with Verities, it is, where is it? It isn't on here. They haven't put it, or they actually have. They put it at the top. Verities is you get a stack of death throws for matching a weapon kill with whatever you're using. If you time it correctly, you can use both your weapon kills to get ×5 weapon throws with Inmost Lights, so you could use a melee ability and a class ability, and then have a fully powered grenade to then throw out and do even more damage with this specific setup. This is actually quite good if you use it with like Gunpowder Gamble potentially on a Hunter, but on a Warlock, I think this is quite good, if not pushing towards top tier. I'm undecided there because I'd like to try this combo out personally, but it is pretty strong. Maybe even top tier, so you may disagree with me on that one. Right, so Inmost and Swarmers. This one is one good, one bad. Swarmers is it's just awful in this specific version of its effect, because you don't get the Swarmers extra effect, which is a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. Inmost and Starfire, if you built into it, it's just that Starfire sucks, and I can't really justify putting it great when built into, purely because you have to have an empowered, it has to be empowered to get the grenade better. So you have to be standing in a rift, you have to build into the rift, and it's just so much extra dedication to the rift just for some extra damage, when Verities and Inmost just does it better, like way better. Okay, now we're into Necrotic. This is a great setup. Synthos and Necrotic. I'm going to put this in great when built into. Might actually put this into like pretty strong, purely because if you use this with you're going to get a buff to all of your arcane needles. If you use it with Lightning Surge, that's going to get a little bit of a buff as well, I believe. You also can use this in super, and when you use Necrotic Grips in the super, specifically when you use Song of Flame, every snap that you do as a melee in between your grenade throw also procs Necrotic as well. So I was doing this when I was running the GM quite recently with just the regular Necrotics. Now I'm unsure, please correct me if I'm wrong, if Synthos buffs the super snap whenever we're using it. But if that's the case, then that makes it pretty strong as well. Necrotic and Claw, I'm going to put great when built into, because you then get more melees, you get more damaging melees, but you specifically have to go on Lightning Surge with Arcane Needle. Arcane Needle is just like the best out of the melees in terms of being able to have multiple uses. You now have 4 of them, but there is an argument to be made that Chain Lightning with Necrotic could also have some pretty good potential there if you play it right with like Monte Carlo and stuff. You can really build into that, which is quite good. Necrotic and Swarmers, I've tried this combination out. Sadly, it's kind of one good, one bad. Necrotic and Harmony, I would say it's not overly bad. It's just average. They're both good perks, in my opinion. Necrotic Star Eater, average. Necrotic Vesper, one good, one bad, in my opinion. Necrotic and Verity's Brow. That is also an average. Purely because you get increased melee damage over time, and then also with the grenade having effects of Verity is also good as well. Now we are kind of whittling it down as we go on. We also have not Verity. We have Necrotic and Star Eater. One good, one bad. Once again. Now the next set of stuff that I will say that here, which is all of the Ophidian stuff, is going to be good in PvP, and I'm not a PvP guy, so that's why I would say it's kind of in PvE. It's just going to give you more reload speed. So they'll all probably be in like pretty bad or in one good, one bad. So I'm just going to do that now, and it saves us a whole bunch of time. Purely because they're not that they're, Ophidians is a good perk, but not for PvE, in my opinion. You can get that extra reload speed in other places. So like you would put one good, one bad, one good, one bad, one good, one bad. Can you see how we don't really have any top tier ones yet, which we are getting to, which we will do, and we will have them here, which is, let's just go through the top tier one. Ozymancy and Verity's Brow. The reason why this is top tier for me personally, if we look at the effects, first of all, you get a 100% increase to your grenade, right? Which is fantastic. With Ozymancy, when you use this, it improves the effects of all your grenades. Now, when you use Vortex Grenade, you can throw it out and it will tick damage in the way that it does with Bleak Watcher, and it will come back. So it's like having a Controverse hold almost on Prismatic, synergizing that with Verity's Brow. We are going to be able to, use this a lot. And I haven't got this combo yet, but it's very good. And I'm actually going to make a call right now for the rest of the video. I'm going to move these both into top tier. And I'm going to delete this row. And we'll go down to a top tier Great Wind built into. These three, I think, are pretty much the best of the best at the moment of what you're going to get. Ozymancy and Claw, I would say this is pretty average. Purely because Nextra Melee is nice. Ozymancy is a very good perk, so you can go there. Ozymancy Syntheseps, once again, put it in average. Ozymancy Starfire, maybe, but the problem is it's like a one good, one bad. Starfire's perk's awful. Ozymancy Harmony, average, once again. Ozymancy Starbeater, average, once again. I don't really need to explain it again. Ozymancy, one good, one bad. Vesper, one good, one bad. Now we're into the last little section, which is with the Stag. Now, with the Stag, you grants you 25% damage resist to Guardians inside rifts. And yeah, you're not really using rifts. In my opinion, on Prismatic, if you are, you can use them, which is going to be good. So let's just use, for example, say you're using it, right? Together, Stag and Claw are pretty awful. They don't really work very well together. There's no real synergistic side of it there. One good, one bad, the Stag and also Star Eater. I would say one good, one bad for your Stag and Harmony. Once again, one good, one bad for the Stag and Syntheseps. The Stag and the Swarm, which I'm just going to say is pretty bad in general. The last three, there's a little bit of I can go. So the Stag and Starfire, right? You can put this in Great Wind built into. The same way as, say, Filaments and Starfire. You can use an Empowering Rift, get that extra damage resistance, which is quite good. You're going to get Devour from the filaments as well. And then you're going to get the effect of empowering your grenades thanks to your rifts, right? So this is the only time when it's kind of like great when built into. The last two, Stag and also Verity. I'm going to say one good, one bad. Maybe average just because Verity brings it up. And then I'll say great when built into once again with the Stag and Vesper, because Vesper is when you use a Rift, it emits a shockwave every 5 seconds, dealing a certain amount of damage. These three are all good when built into because they synergize together. And as you can see, we have a quick look at a bunch of the stuff. You know, we have an extra one here because I think I put an extra file in when I was doing this, but still, pretty bad. There's quite a few combinations in there. One good, one bad. Once again, quite a few combinations in there. Average, it's kind of the perks themselves kind of hold up. And even though they don't synergize 100%, they're still pretty good on their own. But great when built into. There's a few here. So this is more super focused, these two that you can go with. This is going to be because they synergize well, being both melee. Same here, both of these are both melee, so they synergize quite well. Inmost and Harmony can be good because you can use it to generate a whole bunch of super with like Ashes to Assets and Hands-On, and then like Bad Juju with the Harmony to generate your super back quicker. And then you got your 3 Rift setups. And then these two, I'm going to say are like top tier. Maybe this one drops out, but I think top tier purely because of how good Archaeomancy is. It works on all the different grenades, which is fantastic. Verities is just very strong. They've kept the good side of the perk here. And then I'd say Inmost and Verities is just a great ability spam setup as well, mainly focusing on the grenade. So, yeah, let me know what you think. If you disagree with any of my selections, if I'm missing some crazy stuff. I do want to caveat, though, the reason Ophidian has been put in these lower sections is purely because I don't use them in PvP, and I could maybe see some uses in PvE, but there's, you know, you would just use the regular Ophidians potentially. But yeah. But let me know. What do you think down in the comment section? I'm sure a lot of people are going to disagree with me. And as always, if you have enjoyed this type of video, leave a like on it. Subscribe if you're new. As always, this has been Jimbo. I'll see you guys next time.